This is the week. This is the week of July 27th. July 27th and the following 7 days. Looks like another big week. Uranus, the moon, Saturn. We also have the north and the south node. They have officially made their moves, and we're going to talk about it. So first things first is pay attention to your Leo energy in your chart. Up in the sky, you've got the sun coming through Leo energy. You've got Hygeia. You've got Jupiter. They're all together. And this combination, including the vertex point, are kind of important because this is the same kind of energy. This stellium is what we'll see for the full moon that's happening this week. All right, but before we get to that, you want to look at your chart and see if you have anything in Taurus. See the big red triangle? Well, it's not a triangle, but it kind of looks like it. But this is a square, a T-square, this is called, from about 4 degrees all the way to 7, 8, 9 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. There's a big concentration here of stress and tension that's occurring from authority figures. This can be the boss at the job. This can be a father figure. It could be somebody challenging your authority. Leo energy normally wants to step into the scene and take charge. I'm the authority over you. Now, the week starts off with the 4 degrees prominent. So emotions and feelings and an increase in those things. But that's not all because Jupiter's right there. So this big stellium in Leo does talk about like energy of fun and laughter, comedy, entertainment, hyperbole, because it's like the show must go on energy in Leo. And even Jupiter is at the Leo degree. So this is big energy for political figures. So throwing stress and tension to the Taurus energy, your values, your money, your income, maybe even for some with an authority figure in your life, it may feel like someone's challenging your self-worth. The creature comforts. Don't mess with the Taurus's creature comforts. So normally, when you have fixed energy squaring fixed energy, it's tough stuff. That's why I bring it up. I don't say it for every single video when we have the sun and what it's squaring, because many times if it's the mutable signs, they make it work. They're flexible. The fixed signs, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, they're not so fit. They're not, yeah. They usually are like, we're not budging. We go to Wednesday. The full moon will be roughly around 6 degrees. Yeah, 6 degrees, 30 minutes in Aquarius energy. So it's an ending and a release. So this is big energy. It's not just in your home, right? It's stuff that's happening globally. A big change within systems and in group energy. The nodes are now at 29 degrees. They have made their move. You just have to be up for change. The very nature of Aquarius energy is disruption. The very nature says things can't get stale. They can't get old. They can't be boring. We have always got to be coming up with something different, new, exciting, fresh. But the nodes talk about your soul's goal. And this is where we're headed. So it speaks about the future. This is where, with the nodes in Aquarius, the North Node in Aquarius, you will for sure see and feel like if you thought time was moving fast before, holy shit. Jumping timelines? Absolutely. We are being called to shift our focus toward collective progress. Collective progress. It is about the betterment of humanity as a whole. You may find yourself drawn to new social connections or inspired to rekindle old friendships that are based on shared ideals and mutual support. There is a strong sense of accountability to society, urging you to consider how your actions can serve others and help create lasting, positive change. Aquarius energy is the sign of progress. It would be the Green Party. It would be independence. It would be, and that's literally an Aquarian word, independent energy. It wants to be the authority of its own life, but it has to somehow figure out how it can work with the group, even though it is separate from the group, placing emphasis on collaborations rather than competition. It is a time when you step beyond personal desire or ego driven pursuits and you explore how you can contribute to the greater good. It is a time to move away from seeking validation and instead to discover fulfillment through unity and purpose, to practice humility, listening more deeply to the needs of others, individual identity, personal expression may lose momentum as the collective welfare takes precedence. This is about learning and finding freedom, not through self promotion, but through shared effort. In embracing the Aquarian spirit, we contribute to building a future that values fairness, connection, and the common good. Regulus, the little king, in Leo energy, right? So it's kind of fascinating. The President of the United States, this means the South Node will be on his ascendant. And this wouldn't be just like a today thing because the effects would have been showing up weeks in advance, easily weeks in advance. Matter of fact, even when the nodes were at 2 degrees back in June. Okay. But now that it's here, this does represent some sort of a release. And so being on someone's ascendant, you may physically see something change, whether it's with their body, how they appear, how they present to the world. Okay. And the 29 degrees, again, this definitely screams heart energy. And with this connection here, it really does say, and this is for this whole week, this is strong what I'm about to share. Because Jupiter is in Leo, and this also is heart energy, it's how we express, how we are radiating. And there's like an unbelievable amount of confidence, almost a cockiness here with Jupiter and Leo energy, because it's already quite confident and courageous, right? Mixture, confidence and courage. And the 5 degrees, the Leo stuff is huge. So there is a caution for this week. The caution is be careful with being overly confident. Be careful with over elaborating on something and not exaggerating, because you'll be tempted to do that. And authority figures will be tempted to do that. Public figures, politicians will be tempted to do that. Saturn and Uranus are huge this week because they are the rulers of the full moon. So the Uranian energy comes up as a shock and a surprise. So there just might be something that will occur that certain individuals may find shocking and surprising. Maybe some individuals need a little jolt. I don't know exactly, but this promises a release and an ending, possibly of an authority figure, possibly of a group, possibly of somebody of power, authoritarian type of energy. But group energy comes up big in technology, of course, with Aquarius. We've got major kite action happening. This first kite on the left shows us that at the very top of it is this health report card. The health report card, Hygeia. Jupiter and Hygeia are pretty much going to be here for this week. You see? So this kite stays pretty strong. So the mixture of all that air energy coming out through the heart, coming out through authority figure, coming out through something that might be highly dramatic, coming out through children, fun, joy, creativity, and taking risks, possibly what happened in the past and taking risks with children. That's definitely on the menu. 4 degrees, of course, is the public, women, home, family, more children energy, but the past comes up again. So there's that Uranian energy we spoke of, and it's at 4. There's Pluto at 4. They will both be at 4 this week. These stick at 4. That's why the number 4 is such a big for the month of July, because these big outer planets don't move, which means there's big changes. So diplomats and members of Congress, for sure. And absolutely, with all the changes we're going through and will continue to go through, these big changes, the old construct, the old system, the old paradigm, the way that the structure was set up of the past, those days are over. And now we as a country, as a world, have to figure out how we want to move forward. And this is how that looks on paper.